What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got to talk about Ryan Clark and his potential exit from ESPN. Now, his contract has expired. He went on social media and he talked about that the other day. And one of the things that I'm a fan of is these guys getting out of contracts where they may be a bit overworked and they have something else to fall back on. So they come into negotiations a different way going forward. And also, with him having a Pivot podcast, he probably has other opportunities out there, other suitors that's going to come where he don't have to work all these shows and try to maintain his podcast. And this is why the journalists used to send shots at the former athletes, because they saw a day where they would be taking their spots and they're more engaging. They have more fans just off of their groundwork and what they've done out in the field. They're able to amass fans much quicker and give their viewpoints right away. You see it happening with Cam Newton's show, others like that just got fans, period. So Ryan Clark spoke to how he felt played by ESPN and the contract that they offered him 3 years ago based off of the work he had felt like he'd done. But one thing that happens when you do that with someone and you don't pay them what they're worth, they start to think and them gears start turning in their head like, okay, I'm not satisfied with this. I'll take it, but what's that next step? Because when I get out this contract, I want to have something with its own legs that I've created and that I'm doing. And, that's when Ryan Clark, it had to pivot. You know what I'm saying? He was with he was doing that. They were doing that show with Brendan Marshall one time before that. But now, they have to pivot. So as they enter contract negotiations, they're going to have to come correct, or Ryan Clark will not be back with ESPN. I've often said, Stephen A., a lot of those guys are overworked, and it's very much true. And you're hearing it from the horse's mouth now. So obviously he wants a bigger dollar amount, and he wants less of a workload, which is fair. So we're going to listen to the video he put out there first and his conversation with the Pivot. Let's peep it.
This started three years ago. I did my ESPN deal. It wasn't what I wanted. I realized I had to do more. And honestly, I felt played. And the worst thing for anybody that's from New Orleans is to feel played. But I felt like I deserved something that they didn't feel like I deserved. And so I set out that day and I said that day that in 3 years, I'll be the best in the world doing this. That there'll be no stone left unturned. I leave no doubt that there was nobody in the world that was like me. So I started my own stuff, bro. I started the Pivot. I did the work. I got on the road. I went to every show they put me on and made sure I crushed it. And so now, here we are again. The season's over. Inside the NFL is finished. And somebody got to pay the piper. And it's either, we get what we want, or we make a decision to stand on what we're worth. It's not that I think that I should be paid more than anybody that does the job. I just want.
And so that was the official video that Ryan Clark put out to say that his contract had expired and he's looking to get the dollar amount that he feels like he's worth. And, he feels like he's the best doing it right now, as everyone should that is in that field. Well, he had a conversation with the guys on the Pivot about it, and this is what they had to say.
I saw your tweet, and obviously I put my 2 cents in it on a retweet, and I spoke from the heart.
I appreciate it.
Yep. I understand, how you work at this craft, how you're taking your notes. We can be off. And you're over there doing what you do, man. And it was easy for me to send that tweet out, bro. You deserve, obviously, what you believe you deserve.
Yeah.
But your value is what you take, man. I think, or I hope they do right by you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if is it a good or bad thing. I guess it's where I started, because you work so much. You need some downtime.
Yeah, I do like the downtime a little bit. like being able to chill. You guys have been through contract negotiations though. Contract negotiations are weird, right? Contract negotiations with your own team are normally the hardest because they see you a certain way, like they see you how you got in, right? They always saw me as sort of an undrafted free agent. So every contract, I'm just like, hey, look at the film, right? And so like now I'm also like, hey, look at the film. And then it's that other thing, and you know, Fred said it before, we've heard it on the show, comparison is the thief of joy. And it may be, but also comparison is how we set our value. It is that, hey, nobody else here has what's on my trophy case. They don't. Like, that's a fact, right? Nobody here, no matter what show he's on, is the thing that ESPN Social is making sure they push out, no matter who I'm on the show with. And I respect everybody I work with. I know I don't get to behave in any way other than a way that represents us, the way that we're supposed to be represented, and the way that we want to be seen, the way that we want to be represented, represent the network in the way that they want to be seen, in the way that they want to be perceived, and represent myself in the way that I want to. I know I can't step out of that, because if I step out of that, I will not have people pushing for me. I will not have people standing on the table for me, right? Like, I gotta do everything. And that was what my post was about. It was like, I've done everything, right? And I'm very honest with them and talking, because I don't have an agent now, right? You know, David Mulugeta is doing the financials of my contract because he's my friend. Like, I wanted somebody I could trust. Like, I'm not built like these people in this business, right? I'm built on, like, I want to be honest. I want to say, I've done this is what I deserve. And so, like, I've just learned, man, that, like, you have to give yourself an opportunity to hear everything, feel everything before you make your choice. And it's funny, because y'all have been around me. The one thing my immediate boss said was this: please don't take a deal that you don't want, because I know that'd be the worst thing for us. And both of y'all have been around me. Y'all know that too.
Yeah. You gonna give people a hard time. It's respect. It's respect what you're doing. You are extremely talented. What you've done over the last 3 years, I saw the post. I see what you say. You're 100% correct. What you've done, bro, and what you are to this industry, real talk. Not to get emotional, but real talk, bro. You're special.
Appreciate
you're the
it, man.
future. Do whatever you got to do. And all I can do is, you need me to jump on somebody, I jump on.
Nah, we don't need that.
So you heard that discussion that they had about Ryan Clark and the contract negotiations, and ESPN, I don't know if they'll come through or not. They're also looking at losing Stephen A. Smith potentially sometime next year when his contract expires. And I expect them to offer him a good amount of money to stay on First Take, because without your number one show, the network kind of falters. It to me is what Stephen A. is willing to take, right? So I heard people say Shannon, they're grooming Shannon to take it, but does Shannon want it? I don't think Shannon wants First Take. Not with the way Nightcap's doing, not the way that Club Shay Shay is doing. You would not want to put down what you're building up to lift up something else that you will never own. You see what I'm saying? So that's a hard sell for me to believe that Shannon Sharpe is going to take that over. Now, Stephen A. Smith, he has his show. He's getting into other things, and I said this probably about 5 or 6 years ago when Stephen A. Smith was just uploading those videos about the Dallas Cowboys losing, and it was even a time before that he used to go on Facebook Live after NFL Sundays, after certain NBA games, after certain playoff series, and he would comment. He would get a lot of viewership, a lot of engagement on those videos, and he just, for whatever reason, he just gave all the content. And one thing I started noticing was ESPN would grab his video off his personal page because they saw other people doing it, and they would put it on SportsCenter or on ESPN's platform, ESPN NBA's channel. So don't let these guys use you. And now I see Stephen A. He's about 7-8 years too late starting his page. Now it's doing pretty good, but Shannon and those guys really just shot into another stratosphere. Him, Ocho Cinco, I like what Cam Newton did. He went down there to Super Bowl, interviewed Warren Sapp, interviewed everybody he kind of had an issue with. Shannon Sharp saying why he wasn't in the league, used it as content. Instead of having to have these shows have talking points, you get to hear it from the two horses' mouths that are feuding, and I love that now. Ryan Clark has built a platform, and people come at Ryan Clark trying to say that, he's overly woke on air and different things like that. But for me, man, what Ryan Clark was speaking about right there was just what he's owed as an employee. And unfortunately for us, even if you work at Food Line, you know how it is, right? They'll pay you $1 amount, and they pay you, and I'm going to use just the most basic example. They pay you to bag groceries, right? Okay, then they put you on the register, pay don't change. They put you in produce department, and now you're doing all three, payment don't change. Now you're in the meat department. You're doing everything, but your pay still the same or very close to the same and not what you should be getting. So I feel like, that's kind of what Ryan Clark is talking about, right? Be on Get Up, get on First Take, get on this show, that show, the next show, NFL Today, whatever. Get on all the shows, but, you're going to take this amount of money. And so it was good to see Ryan Clark in that last contract over the last 3 years. He's been using the platform to be seen on TV every day, which is good, but also, preparing to have an exit plan if necessary. It seems like he doesn't mind still being on ESPN, but sounds like he either want to do Get Up, he either want to do just the NFL show, maybe pop in on First Take sometime. Because First Take, if you're going to be on ESPN, it's a good look to be on the most popular show on the network. But it looks like to me he just wants to pop in every now and again on some of these shows and really focus on the pivot, which is nothing wrong with that. And he probably could start, something else. I know Ryan Clark used to train like the young DBs. He had something called DB Precision, if I'm not mistaken, where he would train like the young defensive back. So he's got a lot going on, man, and a lot of these people don't get what they deserve. They try to undermine them and say they're entertainers and not real journalists, but Ryan Clark's been doing it long enough, and he comes with some journalistic takes, and also he was, you remember him and Stephen A. Smith had that back and forth long time ago. Ever since then, him and Ryan Clark got real tight, and Ryan Clark was kind of one of the first ones I remember seeing on the regular, like from the NFL, seeing on the regular on like First Take and on these cold pizza ESPN type shows. So let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all think ESPN should bring Ryan Clark back, or you think Ryan Clark should just focus on what he owns at this point going forward? Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.